Good morning. Welcome back to Bookeemonsters. My name is PK. It is Thursday, March the 20th, the first day of spring equinox, and a day closer to the weekend. I hope you're having a good day. Being Thursday, we're going to be looking at the new releases that are in fantasy and science fiction. Quick announcements. I do have sprints tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern. They go for 2.5 hours. Bring your own book, work on a project, close your eyes after a day. It is self-care time for you that I create the time and space and the ambiance for you to do just that. Hi, Mary. Good morning. Happy Thursday. Hope everyone is feeling chipper this morning. I feel chipper right away in the morning because I'm one of those disgusting morning people. But then around about 9, 10 o'clock, I go, ugh, and I need a nap. Spring is springing here today. Daddy Cardinal is chasing Mama Cardinal to do the dance, and life goes on. Come here, baby. Very cool, though. We don't really get cardinals up here. Robins, meadowlarks, mourning doves. Mourning doves are my favorite. All right. So the big one this week is the new Hunger Games book by Suzanne Collins. This is Haymitch's story. It's called Sunrise on the Reaping. If you're counting, this is technically the 5th book, although the last one and this one could probably be counted as standalones, but it's prequel. It is how Haymitch, it's his background. When you've been set up to lose everything you love, what is there left to fight for? As the day dawns on the 50th annual Hunger Games, fear grips the districts of Panem. This year, in honor of the Quarter Quell, twice as many tributes will be taken from their homes. Back in District 12, Haymitch Abernathy is trying not to think too hard about his chances. All he cares about is making it through the day and being with the girl he loves. When Haymitch's name is called, he can feel all his dreams break. He's torn from his family and his love, shuttled to the capital with the 3 other District 12 tributes. A young friend who's nearly a sister to him, a compulsive odds maker, and the most stuck-up girl in town. As the games begin, Haymitch understands he's been set up to fail, but there's something in him that wants to fight, and have that fight reverberate far beyond the deadly arena. And in our sprints, a couple people have been reading it, and so far giving us good feedback. I have it. I just not quite sure when I'm going to be starting it. Next up, a name in sci-fi I admire, Mary Robinette Kowal. I'm not sure how she pronounces it. This is 4th in the Lady Astronaut series. The Martian Contingency is the title. Years after a meteorite strike obliterated Washington, D.C., triggering an extinction-level global warming event, Earth survivors have started an international effort to establish homes on space stations and the moon. The next step, Mars. Elma York, the Lady Astronaut, lands on the Red Planet, optimistic about preparing for the first true wave of inhabitants. The mission objective is more than just building the infrastructure of a habitat. They are trying to preserve the many cultures and nuances of life on Earth without importing the hate. But, well, humans. But from the moment she arrives, something is off. Disturbing signs hint at a hidden disaster during the first Mars expedition that never made it into the official transcript. As Elma and her crew try to investigate, they face a wall of silence and obfuscation. Their attempts to build a thriving Martian community grind to a halt. What you don't know can harm you, and if the truth doesn't come to light, the ripple effects could leave humanity stranded on a dying Earth. The Third Rule of Time Travel by Philip Fracassi. Fracassi? Something like that. Rule 1, you can only travel to a point within your lifetime. Sounds like Quantum Leap. Rule 2, you can only travel for 90 seconds. Rule 3, you can only observe. The rules cannot be broken. Scientist Beth Darlow has discovered the unimaginable. She's built a machine that allows human consciousness to travel through time to any point in the traveler's lifetime and relive moments of their life. An impossible breakthrough, but it's not perfect. The travel has no way to interact with the past. They can only observe. After Beth's husband Colson, the co-creator of the machine, dies in a tragic car accident, Beth is left to raise Isabella, their only daughter, and continue the work they started. Mired in grief and threatened by her ruthless CEO, Beth pushes herself to the limit to prove the value of her technology. Then the impossible happens. Simply viewing personal history should not alter the present, but with each new observation she makes, her own timeline begins to warp. As her reality constantly shifts, Beth must solve the puzzles of her past, even if it means forsaking her future. You know this is right up my alley. And if you follow quantum physics, even observing changes the reality. Splinter effect. Speaking of time traveling, we have more time traveling. By Andrew Luddington. Smithsonian archaeologist Rabbit Ward travels through time on sponsored expeditions to the past to secure precious artifacts moments before they are lost to history. Sounds like Chronicles of St. Mary's, if anybody is reading that series. Although exceptional at his job, Rabbit is not without faults. In a spectacular failure 20 years ago, he lost both the menorah of the Second Temple and his hot-headed mentee, Aaron. So when new evidence reveals the menorah's reappearance in 6th century Constantinople, Rabbit seizes the chance for redemption. But from the moment he arrives in the past, things start to go wrong. Rabbit quickly finds out that his prime competition, an unlicensed and annoyingly appealing stringer named Helen, is also in Constantinople hunting the menorah. And that's only the beginning. The oppressed Jewish population of the city is primed for revolution. Constantinople's leading gang seems to have it out for Rabbit personally, and someone local is interested enough in the menorah to kill for it. As the past closes in on him and his previous failures compound, will Rabbit be able to recover the menorah before it's once again lost in time? With new and old dangers alike hiding behind every corner, time might just be up for Rabbit's redemption, and possibly his life. I love time travels. We're having a much better day than Tuesday and Wednesday's new releases. That's the end of that row. Thank you, Sci-Fi Fantasy, for renewing my faith. Good morning, Elena. How you doing? And Mary says hello to Elena, too. Hope you're having a good Thursday. It's early yet, but I bet it's still good. His Mortal Demise by Vanessa Lee. Second in the Last Blood Carver series. Oh, it says it's Vietnam-inspired romantasy. Cochin is a heart soothe, a rare being with the ability to heal any wound that is, except death. Intent on defying nature and bringing Nika back to life, Cochin keeps her body in a life-preserving casket and waits for a miracle. Sounds like Snow White. Stricken with grief and descending into madness, Cochin realizes the answer to his desperate quest can only lie in one place. Yarong, the lush yet battle-ridden island the first forsooths called home. Months later, Nika wakes in a familiar manor house with Cochin nowhere to be found. As she traces his footsteps across Thumas, she discovers the haunting path he walked to bring her back and a world changed by war. When Cochin discovers the true and grisly ways to resurrect a person from the grave, he must decide exactly how much he is willing to sacrifice in order to reunite with the woman he loves. Oh my. Just give her true love's kiss. It's probably more complicated than that. Murder by Memory. This one had also caught my attention. Lena says, just finished reading Disney, The Haunted Mansion. We'll give it to you. Yay! Congratulations! Woo! Good job. And she says she's good. Very good to hear. Olivia Waite is the author. A mind is a terrible thing to erase. Welcome to the HMS Fairweather, Her Majesty's most luxurious interstellar passenger liner. Room and board are included. New bodies are graciously provided upon request. What? And should you desire a rest between lifetimes, your mind shall be most carefully preserved in glass in the library, shielded from every danger. Near the topmost deck of an interstellar generation ship, Dorothy Gentleman wakes up in a body that isn't hers, just as someone else is found murdered. As one of the ship's detectives, Dorothy usually delights in unraveling the schemes on board the Fairweather, but when she finds that someone is not only killing bodies, but purposely deleting minds from the library, she realizes something even more sinister is afoot. Dorothy suspects her misfortune is partly the fault of her feckless nephew, Ruthie, who, despite his brilliance as a programmer, leaves chaos in his cheerful wake. Or perhaps the sultry yarn store proprietor and his ex-girlfriend of the body Dorothy is currently inhabiting knows more than she's letting on. Whatever it is, Dorothy intends to solve this case, because someone has done the impossible and found a way to make murder on the Fairweather a very permanent state indeed. A mastermind might be at work, and if so, they've had 300 years to perfect their schemes. And it's only 112 pages. Interesting. Wolves Among the Stars by J.N. Chaney and Terry Maggart. 26th in the Backyard Starship series. 7 young peacemakers, 1 newly commissioned ship, 2 decades of relative calm. As Van continues his role in unifying the known stars, reports flow into the Fist of Orion that ships are going missing. Not stolen or destroyed, but vanishing from the ports and digital records that stretch back centuries. All that remains of these ships is a digital echo, a ghost, a spirit, a cry for help, stretching across the endless miles of void and mystery. And every ship's journey brought them closer to an area the peacemakers have avoided for years and even decades, the deep. There's something out there, and it's taking ships and lives and history, and Van won't allow it, even if finding out means sending his own children into the blackest parts of known space. But first, the Fafnir will go because Van doesn't command from the rear. He leads from the front, and that means the old man, his seasoned crew, will go into the unknown one more time. For the guild, for justice, and maybe just because Van still has a burning desire to see what's out there, where the maps end, and ghosts call out across the void of eternity, so endless and deep. Europa by Grieg Beck. The first mission to Europa, Jupiter's enigmatic drinking game moon, has landed, and humanity's darkest fears are about to awaken. For years, mankind has speculated that this frozen world harbors a hidden ocean twice the size of all Earth's oceans combined, an ocean potentially teeming with life. Driven by this tantalizing mystery, they venture forth to unlock its secrets. What they discover in the abyssal, I know the word, but it's not used, abyssal depths, is far beyond anything they could have imagined. Nearly 400 million miles from Earth, their search for life has succeeded, but in their triumph, they overlook the most terrifying truth. What they have found is something far older and more horrifying than they ever could have conceived. Something has been trapped in the dark for eons, watching and waiting for them. Now the crew stands at the threshold of unimaginable terror, realizing too late that hell, in its purest form, is cold. Yeah, not so much. End of that row. I don't like space horror. I've accidentally read it before. Don't like it. I prefer like Star Trek rather than Aliens, if you know what I mean. Sufficiently Analyzed Magic by Christopher J. Nuttall, second in the Inverse Shadows series. The last thing the hyper-advanced human confederate expected to encounter on Darius, a far-distant and long-lost colony world, was actual magic. Sorcerers and magicians and other inexplicable feats that the most advanced technology could not duplicate. Determined to discover the source of the mystery, the Confederation dispatched a survey team to Darius and eventually discovered that the human settlers had tapped into the Darius machine, an inexplicable piece of alien technology that granted supernatural powers to those capable of calling upon its aid. The Darius machine was accidentally destroyed, seemingly rendering the former godlike humans powerless, but leaving behind a number of children with strange and often frightening powers of their own. That was 17 years ago. Since then, the Darius children have been raised on Clark, an isolated world where they can be studied as well as protected from the remainder of the human race. Their powers appear simplistic and yet very dangerous, provoking fear as well as awe in their teachers. Their attempts to expand their abilities and bring others into their mental network threaten the very fabric of reality itself. As they start to demand the right to leave their homeworld, a sociopath strikes and kidnaps one of the children, intending to sell her to the highest bidder. Another child must go in pursuit. ... And hidden in the shadows, an unseen manipulator lays the seeds of a galaxy-wide conflagration. What's happening there? The Black Ships by G.P. Hudson. First in a trilogy, it looks like. The Union is the most powerful civilization in the galaxy, but its greatest threat is yet to come, and only one man can stop it. Captain Max Knight thought his mission was simple: eliminate an arms dealer and head home. No big deal. But when unknown forces put all of humanity at risk, he's forced into a desperate quest beyond known space in search of a legend that may not even exist. Can Max succeed in his mission, or will humanity face annihilation? And then there's blurbage. Last one. Mourn Not the Mortals by Jordan Smith. First in the Shattered Sphere saga. Centuries have passed since the Dalnar fled the sphere of man, fearing extinction at the hands of humans. All that remains of the otherworldly race are the forgotten relics and ruins of an ancient age, now coveted by kingdoms. Alice Sistalion has never set foot beyond her city's walls. An untested servant of the prophet, Dalnar history is heresy to her creeds, but someone high in the Empire believes otherwise, deeming her worthy of leading her first expeditionary force. The Empire's very survival hinges on her mission to pursue the rumors of a Dalnar relic buried behind enemy borders. Intent on restoring the Empire's glory, Alice leaves her home and family behind, with no promise of seeing either ever again. Across the sea, the Protectorate are the long-hated enemies of the Leviathan Empire and seek the rumored Dalnar relics for themselves. Already, they possess a powerful Dalnar craft capable of prophecy and seek to plunder yet another jewel to add to their trove. Having lost their lands to the Protectorate centuries ago, Alice and her squad of veterans must outrace them, lest their dying empire be doomed to become a footnote in the annals of man. And that is all we have. 11 of them. Not bad. I'm intrigued by some. Elena says, I will see you tomorrow on Saturday afternoon for the morning show and reading sprints on Saturday afternoon. Oh, good. I look forward to seeing you too. Hope you have a good day. Alrighty. And as Elena mentioned, yes, we will have sprints tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, and they go for 2.5 hours. After that, our next sprints are on Saturday afternoon at 3 p.m. Eastern, and they go for 5 hours. So we do those 3 times a week, every Tuesday and Thursday evenings at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, and the Saturday afternoons at 3 p.m. for 5 hours, a total of 10 hours. Tomorrow is Friday. Huzzah! So it's Freeform Friday, and we will be looking at the rest of the Cozy Mysteries from earlier in the week and anything else that caught my attention that doesn't necessarily fall into those categories. Mary, they were definitely better than the last 2 days' pickings. Absolutely, I agree. Last couple days were pretty darn bad. They are somebody's taste, but I am marked free of purchasing any of those from Tuesday or Wednesday. All right. Well, we finished a couple minutes early. That's okay. Hope to see you later. If I don't, have a very good Thursday. And hope you're reading good books. And as, let's see, Mary says also, thanks so much and hope everyone has a great day. Back at you, baby. And Elena says, see you tomorrow, Mary. Yay. All right. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate you guys are in my heart. And as the banner says here, don't be a bookworm, be a bookie monster. Have a good day. God bless.